Delta. 11 Alive at 5 starts now.
We start with breaking news at 5. A Walton County man is now under arrest after spending 3 days on the run, accused of killing his estranged wife, accused of doing that in front of their 2 young children. Neighbors tell us the couple was going through a divorce and the wife had confided in them that Jerome Mobley had been abusing her. Here is the new information that we know right now. Jerome Mobley is in custody. He was found in the back of a home. The homeowner had been holding him at gunpoint. Somehow, Jerome Mobley wrestled the gun from that homeowner, then shot himself in the face. He is alive right now inside an ambulance waiting for a medical helicopter. Again, he'd been on the run for 3 days.
Our team is working right now to get you more information. We encourage you to go to 11alive.com, also our digital footprint with Facebook and Twitter. We will continue to have updates on this. We'll try to get the condition of Mobley. Again, shot in the face by his own hand after wresting a gun from a homeowner who was holding him prisoner. All right, also breaking tonight in DeKalb County, Sky Tracker was just over Memorial Drive near North Hairston in DeKalb County, where a woman was struck by a MARTA bus. The victim taken to the hospital, but is expected to be okay. That bus was towed and another one brought in to continue service on the route for those individuals that were on the bus at the time.
A heartbreaking story to share with you tonight. It's hard to believe anybody could hurt this little boy. But tonight, a Floyd County man is behind bars and charged in the 2-year-old's murder.
It is a story that we are covering as we seek answers as to whether more could have been done to save this child's life. 11 Alive's Latasha Givens now joins us live in Floyd County tonight. Latasha, this man's connection to the little boy has been a little bit muddy in terms of their relationship. Can you clarify that for us?
Yes, Jeff, police tell us the suspect in this case, who's now behind bars, is the boyfriend of the toddler's mother. He's facing multiple charges, including felony murder. And Cheryl, as if this child's death wasn't so tragic, investigators say it all happened in the presence of a 5-year-old.
Our kids used to play together.
Latonia Thompson lives next door to 2-year-old Adrian Mitchell and his family. She says she took this picture of the toddler for Halloween.
Really hard on us. We're really gonna miss him.
Floyd County police say the toddler died over the weekend after a severe beating where he sustained internal injuries. Investigators say 38-year-old Hassan Rashad, the boyfriend of the 2-year-old's mother, is responsible. This memorial of flowers and a baby lamb now lay in front of the family's home.
A bright kid, smart kid, just praying for the family.
And we're told DFACS has had some involvement with the family, including looking into a broken shin the little boy sustained when he was just 6 months old. We've requested those reports and we'll bring you those details as soon as they're released. Live in Floyd County, I'm Latasha Givens, 11 Alive News.
She got into his car thinking he was her Uber driver, then he sexually assaulted her. It happened about 3 o'clock today in Athens, Clark County, 3 this morning. Tonight, police are still looking for the man. They are not able to give us any information about where this happened, what this man looks like, or what kind of car he was driving just yet. So how can you make sure you do not get into a car with an Uber imposter? First, on the app, check the license plate of your driver. Make sure it matches the car that you are getting into. Second, double check the driver's picture on the app against the person actually behind the wheel of that car. And third, ask the driver who they are picking up before you ever give them your name.
Tonight, heavy security is in place in downtown Newnan for tomorrow's pro-Nazi and anti-Nazi demonstrations. The police plan is simple: to try to keep these groups apart and trying to keep the peace. But that may not be easily done. John Schierick is in Newnan with more.
Dozens of plastic barricades are up and filled with water, each one as heavy as concrete. Barricades and fences lining the streets of downtown Newnan around Greenville City Park. Police hoping to keep the neo-Nazi demonstrators who obtained a city permit to rally here, keep those demonstrators inside the park on one side of the fencing, and police are hoping to keep the anti-Nazi demonstrators outside the park on the other side of the fencing. Officers in marked police vehicles already staked out in and around around the park, making their presence known. Police will shut down streets in downtown Noonan at 10 a.m. Some 400 additional law enforcement officers will be joining Noonan Police on Saturday, aiming to keep the peace.
We will not stand silently by.
Noonan resident Nadine Winter organizing one of at least 3 anti-hate rallies on Saturday that will take place several blocks from downtown. Hers at Lynch Park. Demonstrators representing, she says, the real Noonan.
We're different religions, we're different political parties, we're people with very, very different backgrounds, and we all stand together for love and respect for all humankind.
The man organizing the neo-Nazi rally, Jeff Shope of the National Socialist Movement, did not respond to our phone calls and emails and texts. His rally is scheduled to end at 5 Saturday afternoon. In Noonan, John Schierick, 11Alive News.
A plot twist in the Tex McIver murder trial as the jury signals it's making progress and then suddenly wraps for the day. McIver is accused of intentionally shooting and killing his wife Diane as they rode in an SUV near Piedmont Park in 2016. 11Alive's Caitlin Ross is live at the Fulton County Courthouse. What a day yet again, Caitlin.
Yeah, Cheryl, this was really nerve-wracking. Everybody was kind of waiting to see what was going to happen here, biting their fingernails, because we were told initially that the jury wanted to go home at 4 p.m. They were not going to stay past that no matter what. They didn't say they would wrap up by 4 p.m., but that they would go home by 4 p.m. So at 2:30, we saw the blue light go on over the jurors' room, which means they might have some news. So all of us run in there thinking there might be a verdict. No, they were going to take a break. So we go back to the media room. Then the blue light comes on again about an hour later. We run back in there. They decide they want to go past 4 o'clock. They're making progress. So then we're thinking, okay, there's definitely going to be a verdict. 2 minutes later, they say, nope, we want to go home. So it was really a strange day in the courtroom. It was almost packed in there as people from both sides were watching. Everyone really did expect a verdict today. So the judge said, we understand you've been deliberating. He has not yet received a note that they are deadlocked. He says that they're going to come back on Monday at 9 a.m. and that's when they're going to resume their deliberations. So the only thing we really heard from the jury was when the judge told them a different court reporter was going to be on, and all of them groaned. They really like the current court reporter who's working there. Besides that, we really haven't heard anything from the jury, and it's going to be interesting to see where they stand Monday morning at 9 o'clock, where all of those jurors are back deliberating. Reporting live at the courthouse, Caitlin Ross, 11Alive News.
I'm meteorologist Chris Holcomb from the 11Alive Storm Trackers. Nice day out there, a lot of sunshine, and temperatures today warmed up a little bit more than they did yesterday. Right now we're at 67 degrees. We have 68 in Duluth, Canton at 68. We're not seeing any 70s on the map right now, but in Eatonton it's close at 69 degrees. Also in LaGrange really close, and in Rome also 69 degrees there too. Pretty uniform temperatures all around. We don't see any wide ranges. Plenty of sunshine. This is our live look here from our tower cam in Rome in northwest Georgia. Looking really nice out there right now with plenty of blue skies. Sunshine is shining very nicely now, and the sun will go down tonight around 8:13. So just know that you'll be seeing a nice sunset. And once the sun goes down, it's going to start cooling down. We're going to be in the 60s until about 8 and 9 o'clock. Once we get to 10 o'clock, we'll be in the upper 50s, mid 50s once we get into the midnight hour, and then moving down into those 40s early tomorrow morning for not a frigid start, but just a cool start for your Saturday. And then we warm up pretty nicely as we go through the rest of the day. It's going to remain dry on Saturday, but the second half of the weekend, that's when we see some rain moving in. I'm kind of fine-tuning the timing of that rain on your Sunday. We'll let you know if you can salvage any parts of that rain-free. And then it remains pretty unsettled into next week with rain chances continuing. We're going to break all of that down for you coming up in just a little bit.
Chris, thank you. More than 200 DeKalb County bus drivers. They were no-shows today. They were not driving their bus as their sick-out protest continued into day 2. Officials say 224 of 908 bus drivers, they didn't go to work today. That's about 24% of its drivers. A dramatic improvement from yesterday when 42% were out. The school system says the drivers who were absent must provide doctor's notes. So far, 7 drivers have been fired by the school system. The schools identified those drivers as what they call the ringleaders in the walkout.
A Florida teenager was shot and injured inside a high school in Ocala. Police say the 19-year-old gunman was not a student, was arrested without a problem. Nobody else was hurt. That shooting comes as students across the country walked out of school today calling for changes to gun laws. And why today? Well, it marks 19 years since the Columbine High School shooting in Colorado, where 13 people were killed, 12 students and a teacher. 11Alive's Jennifer Bellamy was at Lakeside High School in DeKalb County today as students rallied.
Enough is enough, more than thoughts and prayers, and get out and vote. Those were the themes that were echoed over and over here at National School Walkout Day at Lakeside High School, where hundreds of students walked out and participated. At 10 o'clock, students started pouring out of Lakeside High School, hoping to encourage and motivate each other.
I think it's important to continue the conversation because if we stop after March 14th, people will think that we are not serious about the cause.
Stand up and walk out in a time of injustice.
Student organizers work with school leaders to plan their National School Walkout program, inviting politicians, candidates, and community organizers like Claire Schneck-Snyder to take part.
These kids have the answers, and they're the ones who've been living it and have been, dying on the front lines, and they're not going to take it anymore.
Some of the invited speakers told the students that adults had failed them, but they could make their own futures by heading out to vote, something many are already planning to do.
It's so important for me to stand up and use my voice to stand up against injustice.
Principal Damian Bound says only a few parents complained about the walkout, with some students choosing not to take part. But overall, he's proud of the work his school and students have done.
It's not often that you see students who are really stepping up and actually coming together in the right way, doing it the right way, really thinking through the process.
Students here at Lakeside High School didn't just want this to be about walking out of class. They wanted it to be a day-long event. They set up tables where students could register to vote and talk about other solutions, but they also set up this wall where they could write the names of victims of gun violence. Jennifer Bellamy, 11Alive News.
A warning tonight from SunTrust Bank. The personal information of more than 1 million customers may have been compromised. We'll tell you how it happened.
But first, a golf course worker in Hall County was killed on the job tonight. Why those closest to him call him a master of his job.
And coming up later, airlines closely inspecting plane engines after the recent issues with Southwest and Delta. Tonight, as we dig into the process, whether all of this has made you more concerned about flying. Go to 11alive.com/vote to let us know what you think. Then keep watching to see the results.